Hey, I like no long time no talk.
Oh, long time no talk. Yeah, I haven't talked to you in a while.
I know. Hey, am I pronouncing your name the right way? I listened to Noor
Yes.
and I try to recreate it.
It's okay. You're pronouncing it correctly.
Oh, good. I like I like it. It's fun. I like it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Cool. Do you like your name?
Yes, I do. Do you know what
Oh,
my
good.
name means in Arabic?
No, what does it mean?
It means blessing.
It means what?
Blessing.
Blessing. Oh, what a great name.
Yeah, I
Oh,
know.
yeah. Reem, what does your name mean in Arabic? Never mind. I'm just kidding. I'm not really asking. Reem's not listening to me.
She's trying to connect her headphone.
Uh, got it. I can make faces at her. What did
Well,
what did James's chat say? I'm on my phone still. I can't see
I'm
his chat.
prepping. He's saying he's prepping for a customer pricing call and won't be in attendance. And
Tell him he's a loser.
I cannot say that.
Well, he'll listen to the video hopefully, and he'll know. James, if you okay, here's the thing. If you watch this, you're a loser, and you'll
uh,
tell me about it. If you don't watch this, James, then we'll know because you won't respond to me for calling you a loser for missing us. So, all right. So, Mr. Dunn is here and no other clients. All right. I was kind of expecting that, but I've got two things I really want to talk about today, and I'm running a little late, so I'm still in my car. I apologize, but I want to talk about two things today. I want to talk about direct messages, which would be a combination of connection requests and direct messages. And then I want to talk about the quality and the style of video. And so for my team, these are things that we use for ourselves. Reem, you've been doing an excellent job in upgrading your social content. Um, there's some things over the last week that I've learned that I went, ah, damn it, Brandon, you've been totally missing this, and I got to up my game. And so I want to pass that on to you all to up your game. So those are the two things I want to talk about today. But before we start, who has something that they've been learning, they've been experiencing, they've been witnessing, something that they want to share with the group that they think we all should know about, or they just want to share? Mr. Dunn, you get the honors, by the way, because you're the client.
I'm the client. Client's always right.
That's right. I kind of
Yeah.
like calling you Mr. Dunn too. That's like,
I hate that.
ah,
My dad's not here.
yeah, yeah. I say
Um,
that usually if people call me Mr. Lee. I go, I'm sorry, Mr. Lee's my mom. Please call me Brandon. Really confuse them.
okay, I'm gonna work on that. Um, I just came out, so this is I'm happy to go first, and I'm happy to share. And Brandon will also hopefully like what I have to say. I just came out of a meeting that I had set up with intention with the president of my company,
Oh, nice.
and we discussed a whole bunch of things. And I just kind of threw a whole bunch of stuff at her, ideas, things that I'm kind of coming across. I know you guys are leaning into partnership marketing, and as I'm kind of going through all these different ideas, it really dawned on me like, hey, here's so Brandon, one good thing is like she definitely is wanting to further the discussion using your show domination program for our
Okay,
upcoming exhibitor live.
nice.
No guarantees, but a healthy conversation with multiple stakeholders involved. She likes the
Okay.
idea in general, just want to make sure that it fits. So that's a
Yeah.
good thing. Um,
Can I
connecting with
can
people.
put
Yeah.
a pin for a second? Throw this on your thing. I want to come and spend a day or a half day with you guys. Like
Okay.
everything relationally is better when you're face to face. Like my
Yeah.
Egyptian team can attest to that. Like we're all closer now just from my presence. So I think I would love to be in a room with Caitlin and be able to cast vision around our program.
That'd be great. Let's do it.
Okay. Sorry to interrupt. Keep going.
No, that's a worthy interruption for sure. So we can get something on the calendar. Obviously, Boston's a pretty easy trek from Atlanta.
Cairo's an easy trek from Atlanta. We have the best, biggest airport.
The best, the biggest.
The best, the biggest.
So back to what I'm learning or what I'm seeing is I've been making a ton of contacts in LinkedIn with people who aren't necessarily my ICP.
Mhm.
But the interesting thing is that because they're related and they're seeing what I'm doing, they might be related to the event industry or they're interested in the industry. People are reaching out. So as a for instance, there's a guy, he's a San Diego based guy. He is like a Salesforce consultant or something like that in his day job, but he's already starting like the side gig, which he's hoping will take over, doing super cool, like customized sneakers. But it's not really the sneaker. It's the process of the video capture. He shows how they're made. They're branded, right? So he's building these super customized Nikes, right? Buy them off the shelf or whatever, painting them, adding details, adding all these cool brand things to them. And then he's capturing it all on video and telling that story and presenting it. So he wants to get into the trade show world, right? Because how cool would it be if you showed up in our booth and we're all rocking, Blue Hive branded sneakers? Like that would be a great conversation point. And where he really got me was like, Chris, it's not really just about the sneaker, it's about the whole process. So we video the sneaker being made, we video the unboxing, we push it out on social ahead of time, and they build this big buildup to the unveiling piece. And so the vision for that, I was like, freaking awesome. That's super cool. I just told Caitlin about that. She's like, I love that. Let's do that also. So the idea of partnered marketing, kind of leaning into all these people with great ideas. You can't do everything. Some ideas aren't a good fit, but when they are, like, just kind of let's roll with it. Let's find mutual benefit for both of us who kind of have a common goal that's united around this trade show thing, kind of like you and us. Is like, how do we roll this out together? How do we find benefits for everybody? And it's a win-win across the board. So long-winded way of saying partnership marketing, think outside the box, outside the shoebox.
Yeah, and you know what I like about that is it definitely ties into one of the big things I want to talk about today, which was connection request and direct messages, because we need to increase our conversations, like for everybody. And again, for my team, when I'm talking, it's not only for you, but it's also for our clients. We have to be full of KPI. The key performance index that we need to focus on is conversations. And I know some of our clients are like, I don't want to talk to them. They're not my ICP or whatever. But you know what? The more conversations you have, the better. Because like I had a conversation yesterday with somebody who is not my ICP, but guess what? Through the conversation, he's like, oh my gosh, Brandon, you know what? I need to introduce you to this guy that I know. He's a friend of mine. He's a sales leader. And they're totally stuck because their lead gen sucks. And they have no idea what they're doing in demand gen. If I had the attitude of he's not my ICP, I don't want to talk to him, I wouldn't have had the opportunity. Now, it doesn't mean you schedule an hour meeting or a 30-minute meeting. I scheduled a quick 15-minute, like, hey, let's spend like 5 minutes each saying a little bit about who we are, what we do, 5 minutes, if there's any synergies or anything that makes sense, and then move on. He's like, yeah, cool, totally. So, Chris, what you're talking about, I think, is really, really important right now. And it's that big differentiator. Our reputation, like I'm really leaning in on fist bump guys around reputation instead of personal branding, because personal branding just has so many negative connotations to CEOs. We can talk more about that later, but revenue through reputation is going to become our new tagline. And it's because your reputation is who knows you and who do you know and what do they know of you. All of that relates to I see you everywhere and I feel like I already know you. So Chris, thanks for adding that. I especially like that part of just conversations and I don't want to say the amount, because it's not about go out and get 50 conversations a day and just go, I did 50. It's strategic. But I just find the more people I talk to, the more opportunities come about.
Yeah,
And it's
I
always
agree.
been
And
that way.
just to add to that, friend of yours, Brandon, Knock Tran, who I think you were in class with, like
Yeah.
one of the first cohorts. I had coffee with her 2 or 3 months ago, and she has tagged me into like 3 or 4 conversations that she's come across about trade shows. She's not a client of mine. She may never be, probably won't, but she's like, she sees something and she's like, oh, Chris Dunn, you'd be interested. You can help. So it's like
Yeah.
silent salespeople who are just out there, looking out for you, which is awesome.
Here's what I'm experiencing and what I expected. Let me tell you what I expected with our partner program. I really want to have 25 good partners as fast as possible, which means for me, I expected that I would have to have 250 partners to have 25 good ones. What you experienced with Not, Chris, is you were just going to go have a coffee. You were going to network. You were going to get to know somebody. You were going to expand your network. Our network is our net worth. And you happen to find a diamond in the rough who, on her own volition, chose to be a really good partner, networker, supporter of you. And you're going to get business from it. But you never would have experienced that if you weren't open to the network. Now, you did yours in coffee because she's in Boston. But that example is the exact same thing that I did yesterday with that guy on a phone call. That's the power of what we're doing. We just have to remember it and keep supporting it. This is why we publish every day. This is why we comment all over the place. This is why we send connection requests. This is why we ask people for calls. And you know what? We're going to get rejected a lot when we ask people for calls. Excuse my French, but fuck it. Who cares? Sorry, I said that for a purpose. Rejection is part of life. Rejection is part of sales. We can choose, do we focus on the rejection or do we focus on the positive? And when we have positive, Chris's example with Knock, Chris's example he just gave before that, my example from Keith yesterday, those successes are worth it. We get to choose, what do we want to put our mind on? Do we choose to focus on the positive, or do we choose to focus on, oh my gosh, people aren't responding to my direct messages? Anyone else, or Chris, you have anything you want to add to that?
Sales mentality, the rejection doesn't, especially online, does not bother me at all. So
yeah,
just keep going until you get some yeses.
Yeah, I believe that all of us go through seasons where we go, I don't care about rejection. And then something like our humanity starts to bubble up. We've got a lot of rejection, or we're under pressure. We got in a fight with our spouse or something, and all of a sudden, like, rejection kicks in, and all of a sudden what happens is we're more aware of it, and then we send out fewer messages, and then we get on a trend of doing that. And we got to find time. We have to find communities that help us, knock ourselves out of it, or find that in ourselves to go, wait a minute, what am I doing? It's that cycle of life that we got to deal with. And I mean, I share that from my personal experience, that I get in seasons where rejection affects me more than others, and it throws me off. And I see a direct correlation to how much money I make, how many deals I close, and how many deals I don't close, based on, am I feeling the pressure? That's really good stuff for you as you're going to move into sales. So we've got connection requests and direct messages, and we've got content and video. Which one do you guys want to start with? Just got a preference.
Connection requests for me. That's my preference.
Yeah, cool. Let's do it. Look, we need, number one, we need to send out more connection requests. We need to be sending out an average of 10 to 15 to 20 a day. And this is for ourselves. This is for our clients. I know it takes time. I want everybody to do an A/B test, because the data and the feedback I get, here's the other thing that I worry about. All these LinkedIn people that give data, I don't trust that it's always accurate. And I know that's a skeptical, negative way of looking at things, but we have to experience the data for ourselves to really have a true opinion. I want to A/B test connection request without a note and connection request with a note for 2 weeks, and look at the data and see how many get accepted and then how many convert into a call. Can we put that in place, please? And we don't have to start with every one of our clients. Maybe you start with one client so we don't have all this extra work. But the next 2 weeks, start to have something in place so that we have data that we can believe in and move forward. Any questions about that? Questions, comments, pushback? Nothing?
So, no, actually, I just want to clarify. So we are going to use implement this on just one client for now, that let's say we are sending 20 requests per day. We will do it like 50-50, like 10 with a connection message, and the others will be without a message. Am I getting correct? And we'll see the response. Okay. That's doable.
Yes. And with our clients, we have the message that we send to them to ask for a meeting. We could use the same one. I want to try and make those I'm going to have 2 different conversations on the same topic. We send the message out. I'd like to know between no message and with a message, is there a statistical difference between yes with a call? Here's why I think we can do this better without a note to send the connection request. The amount of content we creating content every day, commenting as much as we do, people are already, I see you everywhere and I feel like I already know you, that it may not be necessary to actually have a personalized message with the connection request. Because let's flip the lens a little bit. We're the popular ones. We're the well-known ones. Right? Like, why are we playing defensive? Let's believe in the work that we're doing with posts and comments. And we know people are saying, Chris, you've experienced this. Oh yeah, I feel like I know you. Let's have a meeting. Right? I see you everywhere. I feel like I know you. I don't believe we have to take the time to send a custom connection request because we're known. We have a reputation. What do you guys think?
I like the sound of it. I
does
I
that
feel
mean?
like if somebody sends me a connection request and based on their title and their company, I'm like, okay, definitely not somebody, maybe they spam me or pitch slap me, but I'm going to click on them and go see what they've done, go to their page and see what they've posted, right? So if that's going to happen and they see my body of work and what we do, and they choose to say, no, thank you, I don't want to request, that's okay. But I think, to your point, like, we've built this portfolio of work, and if there's anything in here that we're talking about, showing you or whatever that resonates, I'm a good connection.
Yeah. Yeah, I think, Chris, realistically for me, when I get a connection request, I look at their title, I look at their name, generally because I can look with some names and go, and excuse me, Egyptian team, but I can look at some names and go, oh, this is somebody outside the United States who's probably going to pitch slap me for web design work, right? I look at their name, what they do, Like I just got one the other day and it was like this, very strong Asian name. Her job was web designer. And I just know from history, the chances are really, really high that she's going to pitch slap me for web design work without ever looking at our website. So I'm like, eh. But Chris, what you're saying is true. I look at those things, and then if I'm uncertain and I am curious, I will click and go look at their profile. And if I see that I don't care what job they're in, even if I think they're going to pitch slap me, if I see that they're creating content, they're active, I accept it because I like people who are active on LinkedIn. Does that resonate with anyone else? Like what I do, like my style?
Yes.
Yeah.
I actually want to add that sometimes less is more, and it makes us seem more human. And sending connection requests without any kind of messages is going to speak volumes to people that are actually interested into connecting with real people on LinkedIn. So they're just going to do like any other human being. They're just going to check your profile, check your picture, check your title, check what you do, and it's actually going to get more genuine people into your connection requests, not just because you have a hey, I want to add you to my network. This message is just sometimes sounds meh to people because we've seen it everywhere and we've heard it a lot. So sometimes less
Yeah.
is more. And I've been resonating with actually sending connection requests or trying this method out, sending connection requests without any automate only any messages in general. And I am willing to try this because I just received a connection request and it was empty. And I felt like, what do you want? And then I felt like, yeah, he's a human being. He just sent a connection request because he wants to connect and he just doesn't feel like typing a message into it. And resonating with your
Yeah.
profile is something that is going to happen with us because we're all active on LinkedIn. We all post daily. We all have content on our LinkedIn. Our bios look good. Our profile pictures look good. So they're going to resonate with our profile rather than just resonate with the message that we just automate and send to in each connection request.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. And I think it's funny. I laughed when you said less is more. Less is more is a theme for me right now. I need to talk less and stop justifying and over explaining my things. That's what I know I do. And I learned it as part of my Dale Carnegie high impact presentation I did this past week. And I've known it, but then when they re-emphasized it, like my number one thing was less is more. So thank you for adding that.
I'm glad I
So
shed
that's what the
light to it.
DMs.
And
Yeah. Yeah. So that's with the DMs. That's with the DMs. And then I believe we need to get back to our direct messages. And I got nervous about this because of all the amounts of pitch slaps. And you guys know me, I like to do the opposite of what other people are doing. But I think this is how we do the opposite. So I cut back on the messages because there were so many pitch slap messages that our messages just got bundled into being a pitch slap, even though they weren't. But I think we need to go in it. For us to get more meetings, we've got to believe that our content, our commenting, our reputation is going in front of us, and it gives us authority. It gives us confidence to go be more bold and ask people for meetings. I'm going to pause there. What did you hear? Our confidence needs to be in the fact that we're creating content, we're creating good content, we're commenting all over the place. Our reputation is, oh man, they're popular. They know people. People know them. So let's have the confidence to send the direct messages and ask for meetings. And I want to go back to what Carson and I what I learned from Carson, and Carson and I have talked about on the show a lot. Be brief, be brilliant, be bold. Brief speaks for itself. Less is more. Less is more. Okay? Be brilliant. Do the research. And this is where we've got to figure out working, like, this isn't something we can do excellent for our clients. They're going to have to get involved to do it excellent. We can do it well, but only they could do it with more excellence because of their, like, we can only recreate them as best that we can. But Chris, for you and I, the brilliant part is take 2 minutes. This is, again, less is more. Go slow to move fast. You know, these nuggets I like to throw out there. Go slow to move fast. Less is more. Go to their profile. Read. Go through their about section. Find something. Do a Google search for their name. Do a Google search for their company and hit news. Find something that you can speak to that the vast majority of pitch slappers will not take the time to go find out. And AI probably won't take the time to find out. Okay. As the example, I had somebody I wanted to meet. I clicked on her profile. This is like 2 months ago, but it's fresh. It's top of mind as I think about it. She worked in sales for women, like focused on helping women in sales. Well, I've got 4 daughters. I led with that. I said, I love what you do as a dad to 4 daughters. One of them who's in the professional sales program at Samford University. Way to go. I encouraged her. I complimented her. Way to go. The work that you're doing is so important. And this one I did with the connect. Is it okay if we connect? I didn't do it as a direct message, but I do it the exact same way. So the brilliant part, do your research, compliment them in some way. Don't do a veiled comment that makes you sound like you're fishing, right? It's got to be legit. Find something, compliment, and bold, ask for the meeting. Give them a reason. Part of the bold, what's your value proposition? Again, I'm going back to, we're doing the freaking work. We're posting, we're commenting, people know us, we know our shit, we're good at what we do. And if we don't think that, well, then we're in the wrong business. But like, we should be, everyone we talk to and who we do for our clients, we should be like, I'm your answer, without a little bit of the ego in it. But we need to have that confidence, and our message needs to be, here's what we do. I want to lead our trade show stuff. Alec, our trade show program, we got a 4x qualified pipeline for one client and 120% of their revenue in 4 months. Like, I didn't get the data from them on where they hit in a year, but they were at 120% their revenue goal in only 4 months. Why shouldn't we be confident in sending that message? So be brief, be brilliant, be bold, short, personalized, and be confident in your message and ask for the meeting. Comments, questions, thoughts? Cool. So I want to do that the best we can for our clients. I want you and I to start working on the best we can for me, but it's going to put more work on me doing some of those. But we'll figure out that process. Okay. All right. The next thing I want to talk to, well, let me pause there. Any other comments, thoughts, add to it? I'm not always right, perfectly right. I've got ideas. What do you guys want to add to it?
If I can just ask clarification, I guess. So been kind of raised on the idea that, like, if you connect with somebody and they come back with, what I'm going to perceive as a pitch slap right away, that's a big turnoff. To your point, like, it's not a pitch slap if we're doing it and showing that we know what we're talking about and saying, this is why, a conversation with me could be valuable. Like, I get that. I take, I guess, on you guys from a tactical standpoint, they agree to the connection, wait a couple days, or like, boom, I'm on it. Cause I feel like that's that's the dirty pool typically, like accept connection, pitch lap comes immediately after that.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, Chris, I think I think you wait a little bit of time, and that's going to vary based on your schedule and everything else.
Mhm.
Don't do it right away, because then it feels
Yeah.
like a pitch slap. But here's the
Yep.
other thing I think, and maybe we add this into the brilliant part: the tone, the language you use. Like, just chill the F out and be a human. Talk like you would talk if they were standing in front of you. Right? I think we get so caught up in crafting texting messages, writing text for messages, that we don't sound like who we are. Just relax. That's why I think doing the 2 to 3 minutes of the research on who they are and what they're about helps you change the way you would speak to them. And then write that way, or do the video, right? Do a video and put it in there. And if you feel like for me, I can be more casual in video than I can write. My writing sounds a little bit more stuffy. Right. And I think one of my superpowers, especially after coming through the Dale Carnegie program, was my expressiveness, and my face to face is just much more powerful for me. And so I like the video, but here's what I mean. Speak like you're speaking to a friend, and they will receive it more like a friend. Whatever that means. And I used to be scared of this stuff. Like, if I would talk to a friend of mine, I'd be like, "Hey man, how you doing?" And my message to people would be like, "Hey Robert, how's your day today?" Like, pitch slap, right? If we
Right.
want, if again, my reputation precedes me, I'm going to assume they know about me. They've seen me, because I get so many more people now telling me that they've seen me, and some of them don't. And that's okay. But if I act like I have a reputation, they're going to believe I have a reputation, even if they don't know my reputation. Right? What is that? Fake it till you make it. Act like who you want to be. So
Yep.
I think the tone of it, Chris, the tone of it, the casualness of it brings it down, because then I think it, like, when I get really casual messages, I feel like, oh, do they know me? And it kind of like lowers the bar, or lowers the wall. But I'd say test it too. But I think tone is extremely important. Mr. Sadala, what you got? Oh, I'm really formal today, Mr. Dunn, Mr.
Yep.
Sadala.
Yeah, but Reem had her hand raised first, so I'll let her go in, then I'll follow.
Oh, sorry. I didn't mean to leave you out. It's more that I can't see.
Well, I had a small, tiny part that I want to say, and I've actually been seeing it from people messaging our clients, and these are the messages that get a lot of replies. It's introducing your solution or what you sell in not a salesy tone, and it's more of, hey, I actually do 1, 2, 3, and I take care of 1, 2, 3. I'd love to help you out if you have one of these turn out. And these kind of conversations, it's just like you're throwing in there within the conversation that you're actually doing that professionally, and what you can actually offer him is 1, 2, 3, without actually offering him something, without actually asking him to buy something off of you. It's just a normal conversation, and then you add what you do, but with more details, slightly more details. You're not saying where do you work only and that's it. You give more details about what you do, but it's not salesy.
Yeah.
And then you continue the conversation. Mhm.
I was just saying, put an example of that in our chat after we finish, so that we can all see it. And anyone else, I'd say let's put examples in there and learn from each other.
Yeah, I'll take consent from Michael Cutts to take a photo of the conversation because it's on his account, and I'll take a screenshot and I'll send it over
Ask
to
him
you guys.
permission. Ask him permission first
Yeah.
before you share it with the
Will
group.
do.
I'm sure he won't mind, but Ask him.
I know. I will ask him definitely. But these are the kind of conversations that actually get people to like talk with you because you're both talking, and then you introduce what you do, and then you continue the conversation normally, and then you just add like a very tiny, hey, I would love to help you out if you have, for example, Chris, if you say, I would love to help you if you have any events turn out to you like in the near future or anything, just hit me up. And that slight conversation, like that slight sentence, is just going to keep them thinking about you in the future when they have an event, but they don't feel the pressure of buying from you, or they don't feel the pressure that you're actually selling them something. It's just a normal
Yeah.
conversation.
Yeah, I would think, I just want to encourage all of us to put some of those examples in there, and I can do the same later this afternoon. Yeah, and everything for me too has been like I test, I see how it works, I test it, I try it again. And there's always that whole thing like not everything's going to work on everyone. Just keep having a little bit of fun with it. Cool. All right. I do need to cut out in 10 minutes because I have a meeting with a potential investor. So I am going to cut it short today, but I do want to talk about this. And this is one thing that I've been told multiple times, and it finally like resonated with me with my Dale Carnegie training that I did this week. So you guys know it was high impact presentations. And I want to start speaking on stage more. I want to do free things around what we do. I want to do paid keynotes next year. I believe our framework is worth it. Our framework is worthy of this and what it means to build revenue through reputation is extremely important. The first day there, within the first 30 minutes, they had me on camera doing a impromptu talk. And then at the end of the second day, they had me on camera doing a talk. And they put them side by side and said, what's the difference? And it had nothing to do with content. Okay. For my team, we need to work on with our customers around this. Alec and Noor, you have to work with me on it and push me on it and manage me and tell me what to do. And Chris, I think this is really important for you as well, for all of our clients. And this is where more is better. More is more. Our videos are boring. My videos have been boring. And they've been boring because we sit like this and we talk and our whole world is like right here. And this is harder because I'm on video and I'm on a phone video. But what I saw from my first video was I was talking here. And my second video, I was like, oh my gosh. And then what you could do, and I did things like just simple things like there's 4 ways instead of go, yeah, there's 4 ways that you do that. There's 4 ways that you do this. And here's what happened. The feedback in the room that I also experienced myself, as much as we think, and this is my problem, maybe it's yours, I think I'm being so over the top and it's ridiculous. On video, it doesn't look over the top. It actually is more engaging. It pulls people in. Like I had one guy in our group, in my training, one of the other students who is an engineer, and he's Russian, he's an engineer, and he works in biotech, like totally not my ICP at all. And he's just like, at the end of the day, he's like, I wish I could do his accent. I can't. But he's like, Brandon, I never cared about LinkedIn before, but now I think I need to do this because you brought me in. And he was saying like he said yesterday, I'm like, whatever. And he's like, by the end of today, he's like, your movement brought the message to life. So my encouragement, Chris, and then my encouragement to my team with our customers, we can get 30% more value out of a video just by going from, yeah, there's 3 things that are important, which a lot of us do, because we're scared to be big. If we go big, and here's the reason why it's so important. Here's what we need to get in my head, Chris, in your head, in all of our clients' heads. It's not about you. Doesn't matter how you feel. Is the goal how you feel? Or is the goal making an impact with your presentation on somebody who could put money in your pocket? If that's the goal, the way that it's better, the content is better for them when we're more expressive. Even if you feel silly, get over it and do what your audience needs. Comments, thoughts, questions, pushback.
You know, I think from a practice makes perfect kind of a scenario a few months ago, you know, the encouragement was like, we just need to start making videos. Just start doing it, right? They're going to be bad. You get better. Don't worry about it. So I think this is part of the progression, right? So I've gotten certainly more comfortable with it. I haven't done a ton of filming myself, but we're bringing in one of our content guys in the company, and he's videoing us in space a lot for more interviews and other things. So no, this makes sense to me, and I get it that what we feel is over the top in our own heads is actually just more impactful on the screen. So that makes sense.
Yeah, and it's not hard. The hardest part is getting out of our own head. And then there's a couple little things like you raise your voice when you say a number or a fact, right? So the one that I started with is like, hey, there's 4 things to consider with LinkedIn. That was me on the first day. And what they had me doing on the last day was there's 4 things to consider with LinkedIn. And it feels freaking awkward at first. But once I started watching it on video, I'm like, oh, I don't look as big as it felt. And I've said this before, and I know it, and I need to say it more to me. Just like when I was growing up in California and Hollywood, they always said that, you know, the camera adds 10 pounds to a person. The camera loses 25% of your energy. So if you think you look like this, you don't. You look like this. So when you go, you don't look, you look. So we've got to add 25 to 50% energy because it gives the viewer a better experience. So we got to get out of our comfort zone and give them a better experience. The other thing with that is the content, and that applies to you, then good for you. We have to add value to them. It's always about what can they take from this? What can they learn from this? What will add, what am I saying that could add value to their life, add something to their life, make their lives easier? And it's not that I've missed that. I just haven't gone deep enough with it. I get too caught up in my own head of performing. How did I feel? Did I do good? Well, doing good is about them, not me. But for so often, doing good is about me, not them in my head. Right. I think Aya Butch was telling me that he did a video the other day and he told you like, well, I think it's good enough. And he said, you push back and like, no, it's not good enough. Do it again. Like, that's what we need. We need people around us to go like, you can do better. Go do better. Go be better. All right. Any other comments, thoughts?
No, I just love this. I love this a lot. We need to get our clients spending and moving and giving more energy through the videos. And I'm gonna start doing that.
So when we also say up our game, I get the idea of more energy translates well. What about just from a production quality standpoint? Like with that much more video on all of the social channels, standing out is a challenge, right? So What does that potentially look like? What are you guys doing differently from a video capture standpoint, or adding text over, or music behind it, or whatever, right? Are there things that you guys are doing to increase the quality of the video itself?
You guys want to speak to that?
So what we normally focus on for sure is the quality of the captions. For sure, we're looking to have like the best quality we can get based on the equipment that the client have, the background, lighting, everything. We try to enhance it with some of the AI tools. And I was thinking as well to add some sort, not in the editing part, to have some transitions to make it a little bit catchier.
Are you guys doing editing in like a CapCut, or you're using some sort of tools to kind of take the raw footage and then make the byproduct or the end product a little snazzier, a little bit more well produced, text, different colors, things of that nature, kind of clean up some of the ums and the ahs?
Yes.
Yeah, I think we're trying to up our game that way for our clients. I don't think here's what I suggest for us and for you. Go on your mobile app and click the video menu and go like scroll through the video feed a little bit to get an idea of what people are doing in video. Some of them are what I would call TikTok style. In fact, I've heard people referring it to as a tick in or talk link style videos, because more of this LinkedIn style is morphing to become more like TikTok. I don't see it as to the extreme of TikTok, but it's definitely moving in that direction. But here's the big question I have: why I don't think we need to go all in on style yet. I'm still not fully convinced that LinkedIn is going to, I probably 80% believe that LinkedIn is going to put a real big emphasis on vertical video, especially in mobile, because of Instagram Reels, because of TikTok. However, this is like the third time that LinkedIn has flirted with making video more prominent. And twice they quit. They quit on it. Go ahead. Twice they quit on it and changed their mind. So I think there's a little bit of a pause before we go fully all in. That make any sense? Sorry, I got a little distracted there. I almost got hit by a car.
Yeah, try not to get hit by a car. That'd be good. So when you say not fully going all in, like, let's not go analysis paralysis and demand that our videos are like Hollywood movie like quality, basically, like make the content
Yes.
good and make it good enough.
Yes. And I think even like the TikTok style videos, it's not Hollywood quality, it's TikTok quality. There's a difference. It's more playful. You've got animated emojis coming in. I think that the stitched videos are becoming more popular as well. So you could take somebody, like in LinkedIn, it used to be more of like, oh, I could go tag somebody and reference their post, or I could reshare their post and then talk about it. But on the video side, you could stitch a video and show part of their video and then have your own video to respond to it. I think stuff like that is going to get a lot more attention, primarily because it's just easier. It's easier to consume. But here's the other thing I want to say with that, and this is going to be totally confusing. At the same time, long form posts without images seem to be doing really, really well from some of the, groups that I talked to. Like even Darren and I traded messages the other day. I said, dude, what's working best for you? He's like, you're not going to believe it. Long form posts without images are probably my highest engaged posts right now. There's never logic. There's never perfect logic. So we just got to keep doing all the stuff that we do.
A little bit of everything. Yeah, I rolled out this morning with no pictures, which feels really weird to me because I'm such a visual guy. And I did one like 2 weeks ago with no pictures. I think maybe for one of the very first times that I've ever done that. And it did pretty well. So we'll see.
Hey guys, I got to go. I've got to walk into this meeting with a potential investor and I'm already late. But I think today's topic is really, really good topic. It's really important. And let's keep talking about it and helping each other with it. DMs, connection requests, DMs, and being more expressive in our end video.
Cool.
Okay.
Good.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, Brendan.
Thanks, y'all.
Thanks, everybody.
Happy weekend.
Happy weekend.
Bye.
Bye, guys.